Ladies and gentlemen, as the days tick on and the correction seemingly continues, we have some new data coming in, some concrete data coming from macroeconomic news events and coming from separate indicators like the 50 EMA and the bull market support band on the charts, telling us pretty much exactly when Bitcoin will move. And guess what? It's coming very, very soon. So we're going to discuss Bitcoin's next move, when it will happen, what to look out for specifically, and also what to look out for in relation to the Ethereum and altcoin market charts as well. Is there a chance that the Bitcoin move could lead and trigger something in the altcoin market? These are questions we'll look at today. I'm excited to bring you the content. Before we get into it, just go ahead and check out the Bitunix Exchange. Bitunix is global, non-KYC, it's never been hacked before, and it's been on the market for about 4.5 years. So it's got an established reputation in the market, very good liquidity, no security breaches historically speaking, and again, it's global, no VPN required, you can access it from anywhere in the world. So everything you'd expect from a major exchange, as well as these bonuses you're getting on Bitunix. And if you sign up with my referral link down below, you can get an additional 15% trading fee discount exclusive with that referral link down below. And that will be attached to your account for life. So use that link to sign up. Check it out in the pinned comment description. Appreciate it, guys. Let's get into the content. So we know that Bitcoin rejected from this white line going backwards from 2017, cutting through the 2021 all-time highs. It rejected from that white line on a medium-term level. So we actually got above it for a period of time on 2 occasions. We held it a couple of times. We actually thought it may have lost validity, but very clearly it established itself as clear support on that occasion there, on that occasion there as well. And then when we got below it, we came upwards and flipped it for resistance. That's what started this correction. And at that point, I realized that the short term was looking pretty rough. Now, luckily, we also have a very major support zone. And that support zone is at about $107.3 thousand. And it goes from 107.3 thousand all the way up to 112,000. It's not just any support zone, it's a neckline of support that goes right backwards to the highs here in 2024, and it's being bolstered by the bull market support band. On top of that, there is actually a trend that has developed over the years on Bitcoin in regards to corrections in September. So please take note of what I just said, right? We have a neckline of support stemming backwards months, and it's being bolstered by the bull market support band. This happens in September, okay? If we go back to 2021, what we can see is a September correction on top of a neckline of support that goes backwards many months, on top, of course, as well, of the bull market support band before, boosting upwards to our final kind of blow off top. Same thing also happened in 2017. Neckline of prior support flipped with the bull market support band before blowing upwards for one of the final times in that cycle. So there is a bit of a trend there, and that does give Bitcoin a little bit of extra confidence. And it very clearly, not only gives us confidence, but it very clearly outlines a stop loss for us, because obviously if we break downwards from that bull market support band, we break downwards from 107.3K, that trend breaks, we also see a regular breakdown, and on top of that, with the break of a trend that has kind of established itself from cycle to cycle, you can be pretty sure that you should be getting out of the market at that point, and at least waiting for further confirmation that things are actually okay. Right, in there being a trend that says we should bounce here. If we don't, we should run for the hills, is basically what I'm saying. And that's the utility of that trend to the upside or to the downside. So I'm not going to sit here and make predictions. I'm not going to predict that, oh my God, we've done this before, we're going to bounce here 100%. That's silly, right? What's logical is to say, all right, until we lose this zone, I'm bullish. And that's what I'm doing. Until we lose this zone, I'm bullish. I remain bullish. And I haven't been bearish at any point here because this zone is still being held. But the question really becomes, as we tick towards the end of the year here, and specifically as we tick towards October, which is when the regular 4-year cycle suggests a top might be, and that doesn't have to hold, but it is certainly something we can react to. We're running out of time. We don't have much time left, simply put. And every day we waste kind of beating around the bush here, where is a day we kind of lose on a potential parabolic move. So when is the next move coming? Well, luckily we get some guidance. We can look at things like the 50 EMA, which is very clearly divided up. Let's remove the bull market support band for a second. The 50 EMA has clearly divided up Bitcoin bullish and bearish zones for the last 9 months. In fact, for the last year quite well, even up until this very point. And getting above that 50 EMA would be very, very good. That doesn't tell us much about when we get above it, but what does is bringing in that bull market support band, because we know, as per the September trend, that the bull market support band should be holding. And hence, if it doesn't, we break that trend, we go downwards. Therefore, we have two important indicators clamping the price together, and those important indicators are coming to a head, right? There's not much longer Bitcoin can hold between these levels. It has to make a decision. It has to either break down below the bull market support band, in which case we move downwards, and we run to the hills until further confirmation, or it has to break upwards, in which case Bitcoin starts to look very good again. And that, in my view, if we just look at it from a mathematical perspective, they'll probably come together in about a week, right? Let's say, so within a week, Bitcoin will move. And look, that works in conjunction with some macroeconomic events that we've got coming. In fact, we've got a macroeconomic event starting tomorrow. PPI is coming out tomorrow. And then we've got CPI the very next day, within the next 2 days, right? The next 48 hours from the time this video comes out, we have unemployment claims, CPI, PPI, and then later in the week, in about 8 days from now, we have FOMC. So basically, we have the weekly chart saying we're clamping together. There's going to be movement within a week, roughly. We have FOMC, CPI, PPI, and unemployment all coming in the next week as well, mostly in the next 2 or 3 days. So you can pretty much I don't know what the saying is, kiss your bottom dollar or whatever the saying is, right? I'm pretty sure it's not the saying. But you can do X, Y, and Z to say that we're going to be moving this week. All right, that's almost certain. Certainly either below this bull market support band, I think that's the unlikely scenario, or above this level at the 50 EMA. Now, in terms of an actual upside target, the 50 EMA is not really adequately an actual upside target. It's just an indicator of Bitcoin consolidating and when it exits consolidations and enters new ranges, etc. I think the actual upside target we should be looking at for confirmation that Bitcoin has returned to a kind of safer short-term price region would be a level like $118,000, pretty simply because that's where the POC on the volume profile lies. And also $118,000 would get Bitcoin back above this white line, which goes backwards from 2017. So if we get back above 118,000, excellent. Bitcoin will start attacking all-time highs again, and I think we're in a very, very strong position. I also think, and this is where we can move into the altcoin segment, I also think if we get back above 118,000, that's when we'll start to see altcoins and Ethereum really start to pick up again, specifically Ethereum, okay? Because Ethereum, by the way, never stopped outperforming Bitcoin. Ethereum has always been at least for the last, since April, it's been outperforming Bitcoin, even during this correction it has. If we look at the Ethereum BTC chart, we can see Ethereum is primed to start moving again very aggressively against Bitcoin. It's flipped above this yellow line backwards from 2023, and it's literally, as Bitcoin moves sideways and does nothing, it's patiently waiting for the bounce from that resistance support flip. And by the way, the same thing can be said about the altcoin market, which is sitting on a very strong support zone, which goes backwards from 2023 as well. So both altcoins and Ethereum are waiting for Bitcoin to make a move. And if Bitcoin makes a move, I would very heavily expect Ethereum especially to blast off against Bitcoin, and maybe even altcoins to start doing that as well. The altcoin market, the total 3 cryptocurrency market cap hasn't even broke all-time highs yet from 2021. It's got a massive trigger ahead, so we could see some degree of an altcoin season as well. I still remain optimistic on that front. I still think we probably will see an altcoin season to some degree. But Ethereum season is already in play, has been for a while, and until further evidence indicates, I still think Ethereum is actually the move. So a very exciting week ahead with all these events. Even the next 2 days could get very, very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the Bitcoin charts. As I said, I remain optimistic, but cautiously optimistic. Okay, we haven't gotten out of the woods yet. We're not above 118,000 yet. This is not the time, in my view, to be randomly, degenerately entering altcoins or entering very, very high positions on spot or even on leverage and things like that. I think that's a little bit too soon, jumping the gun perhaps. I would say waiting for the confirmation is a good idea. As I said, I'm cautiously optimistic, and I'm very excited to see what will happen. Obviously, I'll update on the situation as it progresses. So check out the YouTube channel. Obviously, I post most days of the week. Subscribe if you're interested. Leave a like, comment. Appreciate you guys. As we said at the start of the video, go ahead and check out as I mentioned at the start of the video, go ahead and check out the Bitunix Exchange. With my referral link down below, you will get a 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life. On every single futures or spot buy that you make, 15% will be deducted just by using that exclusive link down below. Helps out the channel, and it helps out you as well, because you're getting on a really good exchange. An exchange that's never been hacked before. It's global. Everything you can want on an exchange is here. I don't say that lightly. I use it personally. So go ahead and check it out if you're interested. The link's down below. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow. Just a quick little update here on the community Q&A. Didn't get around to filming that Q&A video. Usually we get many questions, but we only got a few, and a few that I've answered before, I think, adequately. So I decided to skip on that, and maybe in a couple of weeks we'll post another Q&A video and we'll get that done. So thanks for your questions there. Be sure to post them in the next poll that you see.